A German newspaper is quoting a letter allegedly written by Benedict XVI. In it, the retired pope hits back at criticism of his resignation in 2013. And the New York Times says that Benedict is telling critics of Pope Francis to knock it off. The correspondence from November 2017 is between the German-born pontiff and Cardinal Walter Brandmüller. According to the New York Times, Benedict allegedly says the pain caused by the end of his papacy has turned into anger and it is impacting him and his papacy as a whole. The Vatican declines to confirm or deny the authenticity of the letter. Edward Pentin, Rome correspondent for EWTN's National Catholic Register, joins us. Ed, we don't often get a chance to know what Pope Benedict thinks. What is his message to Cardinal Brandmüller in these letters?
Yes, it's quite interesting, Lauren. This is the first time that we've really heard that he's, first of all, aware of the pain that people have felt about his resignation. He acknowledges that, but also he talks about the anger of the resignation feeding into an anger directed at him and his pontificate. And he says it's melted into the sorrow that people feel about the current situation in the church, which is also something we didn't know before.
Tell us about Cardinal Brandmüller and his concerns about Benedict's resignation.
Yes, well, this relates to an interview he gave back in October last year with the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, which is a big German newspaper, and he talked about his reservations, really, for the title Pope Emeritus. He said that's never been used in history at all. Cardinal Brandmüller is a very highly regarded church historian, and he said this has never been used before, and he really took issue with that. But also he spoke about his the concerns that cardinals had about his resignation. He said it knocked them sideways, and not only them, he said others as well.
Well, Cardinal Brandmüller is one of a few of the cardinals who have presented their questions, or what's being called the dubia, to the Pope about his document, The Joy of Love, or Amoris Laetitia. What are the concerns, and is Benedict telling him to knock it off, as the New York Times reports?
I don't know about that. That was rather a stretch, I think, from the New York Times. I don't think he's really saying that. I think he's saying really he's not very happy about the criticism of his resignation. I think he thinks that's unjustified. He feels very sure that he did the right thing, but that isn't. I think Cardinal Brandmüller is reflecting in some ways some of the concerns that other cardinals have had about this. As somebody pointed out, Benedict never consulted any cardinals about his resignation before he took the decision. So that's always been a little bit of a bone of contention, I think, among some in the college. But we don't really know generally what the general feeling is among the cardinals about this because they don't really speak about it very much.
Thank you so much for this report. Edward Pentin, Rome correspondent for EWTN's National Catholic Register.
Thank you, Lauren.